So today I'm going to be trying to recreate a set that I found on Pinterest. It's this really pretty like springtime floral type of set. I just thought it was really pretty and be fun to recreate. So to start off, I'm going to be using Perfect Pink from Madam Glam, Starstruck from Nail Reserve, Cheers from Madam Glam, and a light blue gel polish that I got in a kit from Amazon. I did show Riverwalk because I thought I was going to try and do like a little cloud type of look, but then I ended up not doing that, so I didn't use Riverwalk, but I did use the rest of the colors that I did show. I paint all of the nails with this pastel blue color, and I only do one layer of that and cure it for 60 seconds. I just put this down as a base color. I wasn't really trying to get like full coverage on this. I just wanted something down to kind of help with like the pigmentation, I guess, of the other colors, because I am going to be sponging them on, and I didn't really want to do multiple layers of them because I wanted to keep this very like pastel-ish. So I did put this light blue down first, just because it was the lightest color out of all of them, and it kind of acts as like if you were to put down a white gel polish almost, just because it is so light. After I get the blue on, I take a sponge and I rip off little pieces of it so I can use those little pieces to sponge on all the different colors. I do use a different sponge for each color, and I just dab those on randomly, and I don't cure at all in between each color. I dab them all on while they're still wet, just to help them blend together a little bit. And I do make sure to sponge over where the two colors meet. That way it does help to blend those two colors together. And I was kind of going for like a sunset type of look going on. In the original, it kind of gives that like sunset sky kind of vibe, and it looks like these different colors are like the clouds mixing together as the sun is setting. It also was kind of giving me like Monet water lily type of vibes too. So really I was just trying to make sure the colors stayed nice and soft and there wasn't any harsh lines. I did sponge over the empty blue spaces with more of that blue gel polish just to blend that line there between the blue and whatever color was next to it, and it wasn't a harsh like line or like difference between the two colors. And then after I got all of the colors sponged on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And to keep those colors looking more pastel versus very vibrant, I do dip the sponge into the color, and then I dab out a lot of the color that is on the sponge on my palette. That way it just helps to dilute some of the color that is being transferred onto the nail. And if I do end up with a little extra on my sponge like I did here, I stop what I'm doing, and I dab off that extra, and then just take what I have on the nail and kind of spread it out so it does have that pastel look to it, and it's not like that bright purple like it was. So here I am just showing you what I mean by dip it into the gel polish and then like tap out a lot of the extra gel polish out of that sponge so that way everything stays nice and light. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I am only doing one layer of these colors. I did test out doing 2 layers of these colors, but it ended up being way too bright and it wasn't that pastel look that I was going for anymore. So I did wipe that off before curing it and then just stuck with leaving it with the 1 layer of these colors. Now I'm just going over and top coating the nails with a matte top coat. Usually when I do nail art, I will wipe off the nails with alcohol before I go in with the nail art to get rid of that sticky layer that's left behind. But I tried to do that on the pinky nail and it ended up wiping off some of the color on the nail, and I didn't like how it ended up looking. So then I decided I was just going to go ahead and apply a matte top coat onto the nails before going in with any nail art. These nails are going to be matte in the end, so that is why I went with the matte top coat for this part. After getting the matte top coat on, I do cure for 60 seconds. I'm taking Berry Blush from Madam Glam and using this to create the roses. To do this, I just take a dotting tool and kind of swirl it around in a circle to create those rose shapes. And I am trying to like make them a little uneven and lumpy looking, just because when you look at a rose like from the top, they do kind of look a little uneven and lumpy because the petals are like flared out or like bloomed out at different angles. So I wanted to mimic that onto the nails. So I'm doing 2 roses on the thumb and 2 roses on the ring nail, I think it was. And then I did 1 rose on the middle nail. And then after I got the roses on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. After getting the base of the roses done, I take Perfect Pink and start drawing some curved lines on there all around to kind of give it that look of petals. I wasn't being too precise on it. I was kind of making sure that they were like a little bit overlapping and like stacked and staggered a little bit, if that makes sense. That way you could tell there was like multiple different lines, and it gave that effect of like the different petals all layered up. And then after I got all that on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to take Urban Green from Madam Glam and use this to draw on the leaves and the stem of the roses. I started out by only doing one leaf on each side here on these two roses, but I didn't like how that ended up looking and ended up changing it to where there was one leaf on this side and then two on the other side. But after I got the leaves on and the stem on the rose on the middle nail, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And to draw on the leaves and the stems, and also to do the like petals on the roses, I did use a 9mm liner brush. And then after I got the leaves and stems on, I went in with this lighter green that I cannot mention the name of or show it in this video. But if you watch my video on Saturday, then you will know what color this is. But I'm just using that to add on some little details onto the leaves and the stem, just to give them a little bit more dimension. And then as always, once I got that done, I went ahead and cured for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to take the white embossing gel from Madam Glam and just draw a border around the nail. I did this on the thumb and the ring nail, and then I drew like a frame around the rose that's on the middle nail. And I'm using the white embossing gel versus the black one, because I am going to be going over with silver chrome, and with the black one, the silver is going to be a lot more like vibrant, and because this is a very light, like pastel kind of soft looking nail, I didn't want the silver to be like super bright and like in your face. So I did go with the white to help kind of tone down that silver a little bit and make it a little less like noticeable kind of. So when doing this border, I'm not trying to like perfectly outline the nail and make sure the lines are nice and straight or anything. I'm kind of doing this a little messily. That's kind of what it looks like in the original design to me. Like, she didn't try too hard to make a nice border and just kind of drew it on however it went on. So when I cured the embossing gel, I did cure it for the full 2 minutes like it says on the container. And when I went to apply the chrome powder, it was going on really weird and wasn't like sticking like it should to the embossing gel, which I thought was really weird because in the video where I tested out the embossing gel and tried putting chrome powder on top of it, I cured it for the full 120 seconds and the chrome powder stuck perfectly to it, and I didn't have any issues. It went on nice and smooth and gave that nice chrome finish, but for some reason it wasn't doing that this time around. So on the next nail I did try curing for half the time to see if that helped, and it still was going on weird and kind of looked more glittery versus like a smooth chrome finish. It is a little bit hard to see because it's like that silver chrome on the white, so it was making it a little bit difficult to tell that it wasn't fully chrome, which worked out in my favor, but it still was bothering me. Because like up close you can see it and definitely can tell more in person versus on camera. But like I said, I tried curing for 60 seconds instead of the full 120, and it still was not sticking to the embossing gel very well. So I ended up just assuming that it was because of the chrome powder, because the chrome powder that I was using was a different brand than the chrome powder that I used in the last video that I tried this out with. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it was the chrome powder just not working and cooperating very well with this product. So I don't know. I didn't want to mess around with trying to figure out what was going to be the best cure time either. I probably could have figured it out, but that would have been a lot of testing and trial and error, and I didn't really want to do that. So I just went with curing it for 60 seconds and then applying the chrome powder on. For the little random splotches of silver on the last two nails, I just took my shiny no wipe top coat from LGN and just did like a dry brush technique where I wipe off majority of the polish off the brush and then did like a little swipe on the nail. On this first one, I didn't wipe off enough of the top coat before swiping it onto the nail, so it left behind a little bit too much than what I had wanted. So when I did it on the next nail, I made sure to wipe off a lot more of the top coat. That way it wasn't a big like blob of silver like how it is on this nail, and it was a little more like stripy and like stringy kind of looking. I don't know if that made any sense, but you can see the difference once it's done and how they look, and I definitely prefer how it looks on the pinky nail versus the pointer nail. Also, I only cured the top coat for 15 seconds before rubbing on the chrome powder, and I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but after getting the roses on and done, I did top coat again with matte top coat, because like I said, I wanted the nails to be matte, and I was also going over with the chrome powder and didn't want any of the chrome powder to get onto the roses. And then off camera, I did go in with my liner brush and just top coat all of the chrome parts with shiny top coat and then cured that for 60 seconds. And this was the finished result. I think these look super pretty, and I love how like soft and pastel they are. This isn't typically a set that I would normally do, or a set that I would even wear myself, but I do think it's really pretty, and it is a nice set for the spring. You could also do this for Easter. I think this would be a really nice, like, cute, soft set for Easter. And I think I did a pretty good job recreating this set. It doesn't look exactly like it, obviously, because I do things differently than that person does, probably, and I don't know exactly what they used or how they did things to get the effect that they did, but I think it came out pretty good and looks pretty similar, while also looking different enough to not be like an exact copy of this original set. Overall, I am super happy with this set and how it came out. I'm also really glad that I chose to do this and do something a little different than what I usually do and like my kind of style when it comes to doing nail art. And like, I don't really know what exactly my style is. I guess you could say it's like maximal, ma I don't know how to say that word. But all I know is I like a lot of stuff, and I like super bright, like bold colors. And this is like the exact opposite of that. It's super soft colors, and there's not a whole lot going on. But I do think this is a super pretty fun set. But that is it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.